only being a part of God's children, but now a direct lineage with her in the blood of Christ. He will be born in her family. I ask you tonight, are you faithful and loyal? Faithful and true? You see, dear friend, if you're not a Christian, you're not a member of the church that Christ established, you are as foreign to God as any Moabite woman ever could have been. You are a stranger. Now, I don't say that harshly. But in Ephesians 2 and verse 12, Paul said that at that time, you were without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. If you're not a Christian, you are without hope. There's no hope for you in the judgment day. If you're not a Christian, you are presently without God. You are without Christ. You are strangers from the promise, strangers from the covenant, the agreement that we have made with God, that He has made with us. But you don't have to be. He goes right on to say down in verse 19, now therefore, you're no more strangers and foreigners. You're not strangers anymore. You're not foreigners anymore. You're fellow citizens with the saints, and you're of the household of God. You can be adopted tonight. You can be added to the Lord's church. You can become a part of God's family, just like Ruth became a part of God's family. You can become a part of the family of God. One of the greatest lessons of the book of Ruth is that God is no respecter of persons. As a Christian tonight, are you faithful and loyal? When you obey the gospel, you promised Him that you'd be faithful. Are you? When you obeyed the gospel, you made a promise to God that you would follow Him, that you would obey Him, that you would be faithful and loyal, no matter what. Are you? Do you obey His will no matter what, even when it's inconvenient? Are you willing to suffer any shame, any humiliation, any rejection of friends and others so that you might remain faithful and true? Or have you let your head and your heart be turned aside? Jesus Christ redeemed us. He has sheltered us under the shadow of His wing. Do we dare reject His kindness? He is faithful and true, but what about us? One final scene. There in the book of Revelation, when John portrays through the inspiration of the Spirit Jesus Christ on that great white charger, and His garments are dipped in blood as He's gone forth to fight the enemies, and His saints follow after Him in white raiment without a spot of blood on them, because He won the battle, and He's got the crowns from the kings to prove it. There is one other thing, though, that you need to see. Look down at the garments on His thigh. Do you know what it says? Faithful and true. He expects nothing less of us. Faithful and true. If you've not done that, you need to do it. If you've been unfaithful to Him or untrue to Him, you need to make it right. We offer you this opportunity to come forward. Let us know what your needs are, and we'll do everything to help you. If you need to be baptized into Christ, we'll do that within the hour. If you've done that, but you've not been faithful to God, we'll pray with you and for you. Won't you come as we stand and sing?